Hi, my name is Athley, and I'm from the Philadelphia chapter of the Association of Talent Development. And I am here today with Dr. Michael Platt, who is a leading neuroscientist and the director of the Wharton Neuroscience Initiative. And Dr. Platt is actually going to be coming to speak to ATD Philly about the leader's brain on March 10th between 6 and 7 p.m. And so, Dr. Platt, talk to me about the human mind. Are we still these primitive beings? I mean, what is really one of the most effective traits of a fantastic leader in today's world when we're working probably from a pretty primitive place, right?
Well, I mean, our brains haven't changed very much over the last couple of 100,000 years. I think we all understand that. But I think what's really critical to understand is that we're really working with what's a 25 million year old Swiss Army knife in our heads. I mean, I've spent half of my career studying monkeys and studying humans and comparing their brains. And, it turns out that basically our brains have a number of, very specific kind of isolated modules that carry out specific tasks like getting along with others or being creative or being focused or making decisions or communicating. And each one of those kind of capabilities, you can think of it as a dial. And that dial's set when you enter the world. It's kind of set a little bit based on what your parents' dial was set like, and then your experiences as you grow up. And so everybody's got their dial set a little bit differently. And a big part of my book and what I'll talk about is the fact that we can learn where our dials are set or the dials of the people that we manage are set, and then how to turn those dials up a bit so that we can help ourselves and help the people we manage to reach their optimal performance.
So turbo boost people a little bit.
Yeah,
Turbo
exactly.
boost the primitive mind.
Obviously there are a lot of what we need to be able to do is not so primitive, like language is critical, and there's no other animal on the planet that has language. But language comes from communication, and communication is actually a social skill. So the only reason that we communicate is to signal to another individual something about our internal states or something about the world. And so we have a very specific kind of circuitry in our brains that we have inherited from ancestors long, long, long time ago. And again, that dial is set a little differently for each person, and there are things we can do to turn it up and things we can do to turn it down. Now, in terms of like where we are right now, in the world, effective leaders really, really, really need to be good coaches and good communicators. And that capability really relies on something we call the social brain network. It's a specific set of areas in our brains that are interconnected and that manages our relationships with other people. And that dial on that network is kind of set a little bit by what you're born with,
Mhm.
but you can turn it up or turn it down. I think that's something that's really key because the way that you turn it up is by exercising it, by using it. So
Mhm.
if you want to be kind of at your optimal in terms of your ability to relate to other people, to understand them, to know what they need, what they want, what they know, and how to put people together to work well together, you've got to turn up that social brain, and you turn it up by using it.
Sure. So, I mean, that sounds like you're sort of talking about the emotional intelligence of the human
Sure.
mind.
Absolutely. So it's pretty much equivalent to EQ or emotional
Mhm.
intelligence.
Sure.
What's really exciting is that in the last decade, decade and a half in neuroscience, we've identified the circuitry. We understand how it works in the average person, and we know what accounts for differences between people, and we know how to move that dial a bit.
Well, that is amazing. You're going to hear so much more from Dr. Platt on March 10th. Again, it's from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Um, Dr. Platt, thank you so much for spending some time with me today and talking a little bit and getting us all excited about the human mind and how it works and how we can become even better leaders than we are today.
Yeah, well, I'm really looking forward to it. It's been great talking with you, Athlete. And yeah, I hope to see everybody on the 10th.
Thank you so much.